Welcome back. I wanted to talk to you today about a new product that I have in the press. This is the Bison Armory Case Volume Measuring System. Let's talk about what this thing does. It uses an absolute pressure sensor to measure the absolute pressure in the room where I am. I'm going to put this behind the press. Then it uses two differential pressure sensors, both hooked to the same chamber inside the die. When the case comes up into the die, it seals the mouth on a seal at the bottom, at which point I'm pressing into the die and compressing a spring which changes the internal volume of the die, and by measuring the difference in pressure, it can tell you what the internal capacity of the case is. Now, a couple of requirements. You have to have some way of sealing the base of the case. Either a primer fired or not, or even a plug would work. It just depends on which one you want to use to make this work. I'm using fired cases today because I happen to have them handy. The case measuring system comes with an application that works on a PC. I don't know if it works on a Mac also. I didn't really check very closely. This is an old PC that I had around the house. All right, this display displays the various graphs of the pressure sensors, and I'm going to put this up on the screen for you so you can see it. As I bring the case up and into contact with the gasket, all of a sudden it changes because I got a little bit of pressure in the die. And you can see, just as I touch it, I'm just creating a little bit of pressure. So it is sensitive to how fast you impact that base. If I smack it really hard, I didn't even move the spring there, but I definitely smacked it. So how you come up against it determines a little bit of your capacity. Now I'm up against it, it's touching. Now I'm going to pull gently and smoothly all the way to the stop, and it's going to say next. Now I don't have it in measurement mode yet. I'm just warming up the system. The system needs to have several cycles to get everything up to temperature. It is temperature sensitive. If you take a case out of it, hold it in your hand, put it back in the case holder, it's going to read a completely different volume, and it's going to be a lot smaller. All right, I think we've got it warmed up here one more time, just to kind of warm me up too, because how fast you move the handle makes a difference. All right, we're warmed up. I'm going to go ahead and put in some parameters here. We're going to say that this is going to be our test system. Oh, we'll call it testing. Why not? And we're going to leave the brand blank and the condition blank because we don't need that. We hit start, and when we do, you'll notice that the volume, the mean, the median, the standard deviation, all of that goes to 0. Now it's ready to measure cases. What we're going to do here, just to kind of show you how it works, is I'm going to take one case and I'm going to run it 5 times. Let's just say 5 times. So I come up and I just touch it just ever so gently, and then I pull it smoothly home and wait until it says next. Okay, it said it was 68.05 grains of water. Now my calibration may not be perfect. I calibrated with a couple cases I had handy. It may not be perfect. We're looking for differences anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's do it again. Come up and just gently, ever so gently touch and pull it right on in. 68.00. Pretty consistent. Couple more times here. It says go. Smoothly in. Come up and touch. Smoothly in. And one more time. Okay, so I have an ES of 0.11 grains of water. That's about what I'm seeing for accuracy because of how I move the handle. It does change it a little bit. I'm working on a solution for that, but in the interim here, let's do something really fun. Let's change the volume of this case. I have 2 pieces of number 9 shot here that I happen to have sitting on the bench, and I calculated the volume. That's worth 0.13 grains of water. So I'm going to just drop them both into that case. All right, let's do a few more. Let's do 5 more and just see what happens to our average. Come up and touch and pull it right on home. 67.91. Touch and pull it home. And you're just holding it. It's like 3 pounds of pressure. It's almost nothing. And I'm coming down just enough to come off of the seal so it unseals the system so that the system can breathe. I can go all the way down if I want to, but then I have to find the top again. And I'm not that skilled, especially one-handed over here with the camera between me and the press. All right, so as you can see, the average of the first 5 was about 68, and the average of the last 5 was about 67.9293, somewhere in there. So we obviously have a difference in volume as a result of adding those 2 pieces of lead inside of it. Now, number 9 shot's not perfectly 80 thousandths in diameter or any of that, so we can't say that this is a difference that we can measure and say, yes, it's exactly 0.13. I'm using a glove to move the case because when you touch the case, you warm it up. When you warm up the case, it changes the volume. So we just proved that it changed when we changed the volume of the case, but let's go ahead and try a different case. Here's a 308 case that I found on the ground at the range the other day. Let's see what it measures. Hmm, 56. This does indeed measure the internal capacity of the case. Now I pulled a kind of a different way there, and you see there's a pretty significant difference in the value, 0.09 difference. The way I pull the handle really makes a difference. Okay, the next one I'm going to pull it kind of aggressively. And you see how it overshoots on the graph there, and then you get a whole different value. Let's do it one more time. We're going to do it from the bottom. We're just going to bump it in. And it's a lot lower. Now let's go back to the method I was using before. Come up, just touch, and then just smoothly pull it in. And you get a lot bigger value. So it is sensitive to how you apply pressure, how you move the handle, but I found that with a little bit of practice, I can measure the internal volume of a case. You want to try one more, guys? Let's try one more. Here, let me turn around and grab a dasher case. Okay, here's a dasher case. We're going to come up and touch, pull it smoothly in, and 41.4. That's pretty good when we think about it. Now, Ben says that the errors that you get will be a percentage of the total volume of the case. So a smaller volume case will have smaller total errors. And I'd believe that because it makes sense. All right, let's see if I can do something really crazy here. Let me grab a 223 case. Now, I don't have the proper case holder for this, so I'm going to have to kind of line it up by eyeball here to get it in there. Right about there. All right. Here we go. 223 Lapua case. Let's see if I can do this. $30.3. Now I calibrated it with a 6 dasher and a 284 case, so this may not be an exact measurement, but as you can see, it does measure consistently from 223 on up. It does work. It does measure internal capacity of the case, and that could be really important information if you're trying to get your ES down. Links are in the description. Thank you as always for watching. Shoot straight, check your case capacity, and I'll see you in the next video.